Okay, so sorry guys, I kind of lost footage in the beginning, but basically in this video I'm talking about all my paranormal experiences, so enjoy. Like, I see something run across my grandmother's hallway, her bedroom, and I'm like, what the actual fuck? Like, my mom and my grandma was outside, and my grandpa was taking a nap, and I'm like, OMG. I was like, okay, maybe it was just my glasses, and then I turned my head and my glasses could have never made that because obviously my head was still, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was just like so scared. And after that, a couple days later, I was with my younger cousin and we were in the room that's right next to her bedroom, and it's like a storage room, but we used to like to hang in there and just talk about like life and stuff. And when we were there, um we heard like a big bang or a crash, and we stood frozen like, oh my gosh. So basically we went to her bedroom and she had like a crate and a box full of like books, and it was sitting right smack in the middle of her dresser, so nothing fell, nothing moved, and it was pretty heavy, so nothing light could have moved it, or nothing could have moved it because it was really heavy, and it just like fell. And that's when I had told you what happened to me. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Ever since then, I can't go into that room alone unless I'm with someone. No. So that was one of them. Another one happened with this ghost app, and obviously I'm really skeptical with ghost apps, but basically there was one where me and my cousin were just messing around with it in my grandma's backyard, and it was saying like it can actually, that app could give like an EVP, like it's saying something and it said cattle, and then we're like, okay, that's a little strange because there's cattle in front of my grandma's house, and we're like, okay, that's just a coincidence. And then we had forgot it was on, and we're just walking around pretending like we were ghost adventurers or something, and then it gave a name. I can't remember the exact name because it was a very unique name. If I remember, I'll put it somewhere in this video or in the description, but it gave it a last name, and we're like, okay. So we went inside and asked my grandmother like if she knew anyone by that name because we were really curious, and she says, oh yeah, he used to own the property in front of my house and then he passed away. And we were like, oh hell no. We were like, oh lord. And then it was saying, and then it said the word cowboy as we were talking to her, and then she was like, oh yeah, he was also into cowboys and he considered himself a cowboy. And we were like, oh my god, like this could not be happening. And then later that day we were like still spooked, but we kind of like forgot about it, but we were still spooked. And we were shopping with our parents or our moms, and we were like shopping, and then she had forgotten the app was still on, and then it said a name and we like jumped. And before it said the name, we were parking and the car next to us looked exactly the same like my friend, and I forgot it. Ashley, I believe her name was. I can't remember. I don't remember which friend. Yeah, it was Ashley. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Ashley has the same car. I'm like, I wonder if she's here. And then, like a minute, not a minute later, but seconds later, it was like Ashley, and we were like, oh my goodness. I was like, boy, like, oh my gosh. And I was so spooked of that app, and ever since then, I don't get it anymore. Um, I think it's Ghost Radar if you want to try it. But it was real, I have to say. Um, those were my experiences. I'm really interested in the paranormal, but I'm a big scaredy cat, and I, yeah, mostly in my Wiccan days when I considered myself a Wiccan, which is a religion, but I had changed my religion for the greater good after this experience. Well, I guess I can talk about it because it's kind of a paranormal experience. Um, basically, I was a Wiccan. You can Google that on your own what it is and what the religion is, but it's a good, like a religion of good, not evil. But I did practice fortune telling and tarot cards and runes and all that stuff. And I had this like dream that, okay, before I get into that, I had a painting or a frame of like a forest area, a wooded forest, because the theme of my room back then was like grunge color, like brownish rust red, and it just matched my room, and it was just there. And then I had a dream one night that I was like in the painting in this forest. I was like, whoa, like those pretty trees. I'm like, wait a minute, where have I seen this before? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the freaking painting in my room. And I was looking around, and oh, I just got the chills, I'm sorry. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? And there was people everywhere, like just passing through, and people just like disappear into the trees and then come out of the trees like little portals. And I was like, oh my god, I remember vividly that I was very scared and confused, and I was like, okay, I was like, I was like a badass in my dream, and I was like, okay, I'll walk through a tree too. And when I did, it led me to my room, and I was literally looking at myself sleep, and I was like, oh hell no. And I remember grabbing my arm, pinching myself raw, and I woke up bleeding with nail marks on my hand, and it wasn't like gushing blood, but it was bleeding. I looked it up, and it was basically kind of like a lucid dream, and I was like, okay, maybe that painting was just nothing in my head. And one day I was with my cousin, and she told me, okay, read my future, and I'm like, okay girl. And I was doing it, and then all of a sudden I got lost into the painting, and I wasn't even asleep, it was in the middle of the day, and I was literally just staring in the painting like this, like if I was transferring into the painting. And it was like kind of like daydreaming, and I was like, she's like, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, what's going on? And I was like, ever since then, the painting got removed. It was up where these photo collages are. It was there, and I took it down because the dreams were getting too vividly, and yeah, it was not cool. I do get dreams, like weird dreams. Some of them come true, some of them don't. Weird. Sometimes I get really gruesome, like freaking gruesome dreams, but I prefer never to tell anyone. But yeah, those are all my paranormal weird experiences. I hope you all enjoy it. I know it's not related to my channel, but I just saw a paranormal experiences video, and it spurred me to tell my own. So thank you all for watching, and pretty soon I'll be posting a Christmas haul since Christmas is around the corner, and I'll also be doing a Christmas makeup tutorial, which is going to be my first makeup tutorial, so I'm so excited for that. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you around Christmas time, or when Christmas. Bye.